Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, July 20th. It is 6:16 right now. Market's going to open in about 14 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. More things here. It's good. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we will get started shortly. It's good. All right, so we'll get a few more moments for people to make their way in, and then we'll get started with our analysis shortly. Hey, Jamie, how's it going? Morning. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Vince. Morning, everybody. All right, so let's get a few more moments for people to join into the room. We're barely getting started right now. And then we'll get started with marking up our liquidity for the day. I'll start marking up liquidity right now. Go over here from the daily time frame. I might have to go even higher because I'll go over here to the weekly because there's no more daily liquidity that is available right now. So that's as high as it goes right there. It's been a while since we had to go this far out. So there goes the weekly, daily over here. Eight-hour. Four-hour. Two-hour. So the thing with this 2-hour one is that I'll just mark it up, but I don't think it's necessarily established yet. It's probably going to line up with one of the lower time frames. Yeah, like the 1 hour right there. So I figured. So I marked it up. 1 hour right here. $30-minute. $15-minute. $10-minute. And I think we are good. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, July 20th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. Market liquidity over here. If you guys are not familiar with the colors, blue colors are basically liquidity on the 1 hour and above. Everything below that is going to be in the red. So with price currently where it's at right now, closest level of liquidity is going to be right here down below, not too far away. Let's measure it. Yeah, so closest level of liquidity is down below right here. It's about 400 pips and above is about 500 pips. So it looks like we're gonna have a bullish bias today. I'll take a look at the overall direction again, overall bias, and then we'll see from there. Again, this is a low level liquidity, so you might want to be a bit careful if you're taking this level. You might want to go for just 100 pips because it is a bit of a risky point of entry. So, all right, guys, let's see who's here so far. Morning, Dan. Morning, Maria. Morning, Randy. Morning, James. Morning, CJ. Morning, Talanji. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Van Harwig. Morning, Karen. Morning, Tanner. Morning, everybody. All right, so it looks like about a little more than half of you guys are here so far. People are still making their way in, but we've marked up liquidity already. So we got liquidity marked up right here. Now we're just waiting for market to open. As we wait a bit longer, I'm going to go and mark up overall bias for today. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment, fundamental bias, short-term technicals, long-term technicals. Retail sentiment is still pretty high. I just checked it right now. Retail sentiment is currently, it was 75% short just a little while ago. Now it's 74% short. It looks like a few people got stopped out. And I'm just expecting a lot more people to get stopped out today. So retail sentiment is still bullish for the week so far. It is 74% short. Fundamental bias right now is currently, I'm assuming it's bearish, but we'll see. Yeah, it's bearish. It's slightly bearish. It's down 23 points. It's neutral for the most part. So neutral fundamental bias, negative 20 points, not very much. That can easily change. So let that be for now. Short-term technicals, let's take a look at the timeframes over here. So on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10-minute timeframes, you can see that price is currently bearish. Price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. This is indicating a bearish bias for the short-term technicals, which is a good thing. We actually want a mix in the market. We don't want everything to be, very one-sided, because if it's very one-sided, it's going to be hard for us to not get manipulated, right? So right now, short-term technicals are currently bearish. Long-term technicals are still bullish. You can see price on the 30-minute is in between the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down, or more so sideways. The 1 hour over here is bullish still, and the 4 hour over here is also bullish, because you can see price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green, and the pivots are angling up. So with that said, we currently have a bullish neutral bias here for the long term, which is fine. It's perfect. We want to mix in the market. We actually want the market to be mixed. I would actually like retail sentiment to be bullish, and I'd like the technicals to be neutral to bearish, because if that's the case, then a lot of people are going to start chasing sells, right? And we actually want that. We want people to be on the sell side, because if people are on the sell side, it's going to give us more opportunity for the buys, right? So that's the key thing to think about here. Like, you don't want everything to be aligned in one direction, because if everything's in one direction, everybody's going to be trading that way, even if the retail sentiment is wrong, right? So we typically want this to be a bit mixed. Like this right now is actually really good. The reason why it's really good is because retail sentiment is super heavy. So we know price is going to go up, but the short-term technicals here are bearish, and long-term is still neutral bullish. So people are still going to try to take sells. So while people are taking sells, we're going to be waiting for those opportunities to take buys, and we're going to be in a better position than everyone else, right? So that's why I don't really care when it's mixed up. I like it better when it's mixed up. As long as retail sentiment is one-sided, that's the key thing to look out for, because a lot of people don't know how to use retail sentiment like we do. People typically, I see a lot of people do it wrong. I've seen a lot of people join in, try to steal the things that I'm doing here and use it for their own trading, but they don't really know how to use it properly. So like liquidity here, right? A lot of people didn't believe in this liquidity, and now it works like perfectly fine. And now everybody tries to draw liquidity up like we do. So just keep that in mind, guys. We're probably going to be looking for some buys long term today. It might be very short term, but long term, I think price will be switching up to the upside, because sentiment is so high still, and I'm hoping it gets higher as we continue on with the session. Hey Casey, morning. All right, guys. Looks like pretty much everybody's here so far. Ready to get started. So market is opening up in about 4 minutes. We're just going to be patient, wait for this to play out. For this morning, let's see if there was any entries for the 1 hour. Let's see. So 6 o'clock, no entry here. 5 o'clock. Looks like the 5 o'clock didn't play through, but there's no 6 o'clock entry here. Let's see how far did it go down. So 5 o'clock was right here. Yeah, this doesn't look like it played out. So I'm not really applying 1 hour entries anymore, guys. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the 1 hour entries. It's just that it forces me to be on the chart a little too much. Like before, I'd waking up like super early, like 4 o'clock, and take the 5 a.m. entry. You know, let me check the news real quick. Sorry, that's what I forgot to check this morning. That's the last thing that I forgot to identify. So we did have high impact news this morning. So I wouldn't have taken the 5 o'clock entry if there was, if and when it did come up, because you can see right here, price reacted to the news pretty heavily. There's news at 5 o'clock with market the 5:30 candle over here. Yeah, you guys can see that price pretty much reacted to news right there. News happened at 5:30, price just came down super heavily, and then now it's correcting back up. So yeah, I wouldn't have taken the entry at 5. Thanks, Gian. Yeah, Gian said heavy news at 5:30. Let me check if there's any other news events for today. There's news at 7 o'clock, existing home sales and CV leading index, and natural gas storage at 7:30. So we got 2 news events coming up here, 7 o'clock, 7:30, medium to low impact. Let's keep that in mind. Let me check my FX book real quick. Let's see. Yeah, news at 7:30. That's pretty much it. All right, so we got some high impact news at 7 o'clock, existing home sales. Then we have CV leading index plus natural gas storage. Okay, so we got some news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. Here is the clean chart. I'm going to go and mark this up over here as well. 6:30 right there, 8 o'clock. Right there. All right, guys, market is going to open up in about 30 seconds. I mean, we'll see where this ends up going. Obviously, we're going to let price kind of stabilize a bit before we look for entries here. But we do have liquidity sitting up top right there. Again, if you guys are looking to take this liquidity, I would probably only take it for 100 pips, like I mentioned earlier. It's a little bit of a risky move because it's a low level liquidity. However, the higher level liquidity is going to be right above it. So if price does push through, it's probably going to push through to that next level. But I mean, we'll see what happens here in the next couple of seconds from now. Market is opening in 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So price hit that liquidity right there, like I mentioned, but it was a bit of a risky entry point because of where it was currently at. Price blasted right through. Was I able to get that there? Oh man, let me see. I catch that push right there. I try to catch the next level right here, guys. The higher level one. Let me check my copy real quick. I don't know if it took it or not. It did. Huge slip. Slippage is crazy. It blasted right through. So I don't know if anybody else caught that next level right there, but I caught it. A lot of slippage. I only caught it for 100 pips because of the movement. So I only went for 100 pips right there. It literally blasted right through my TP. My FTMO copier got some crazy slippage on that. Let me check my second. Where's my MFF number 2? Wait. Okay. My MFF just kind of like, so yeah, there goes the level right there, guys. So I told you guys to be a little careful about this lower one, but I said this is the level that we'd be looking for. And it went straight for full TP. I typically don't take the liquidity push, but today it just looked really good because as I mentioned earlier this morning, if you guys sat in on my earlier analysis, I like when it's mixed like this because people don't know where price is going. Retail sentiment was very bullish, so I already knew price was going to go up. And that's why I took the trade here. I typically don't take it, but I took this one finally with you guys and it hit my full TP. I didn't go for the full 300, but I did. I did get in for the 100 pips. So let me go and just take a screenshot of this so you guys understand where the entry came from. Let me zoom out a little bit. And I'll take a screenshot of my profits. That was a crazy push right there. I'm still looking for any other entries here, guys. I'm not looking for any more liquidity. All liquidity got hit right now. So you guys see here the liquidity that I marked up pre-market, lower level right there, strong level right there, and low level above. Price just blasted literally right through the liquidity, spiked up, and then now it's coming back down. I wouldn't chase it any further. Once you get out of your liquidity push, just be done with it for the most part. But I'll just show you guys this here for liquidity push. That was a quick push right there. All right, so we're now looking for markets to stabilize. Liquidity is pretty much done for the day. I don't think any more liquidity is going to get hit because we've pretty much knocked out all the upper liquidity. Let me see if there's any higher levels. There's a higher level up here, but it's a bit far from where price is currently at. It's about 600 pips. It's not super far, but it is a bit far. I mean, not to say that price won't reach that point, but everyone's pretty much getting stopped out. Let's take a look at sentiment right now. Sentiment is currently 74% short. So these people actually didn't get stopped out yet. There's still a lot of room for price to push to the upside. If this number here decreases, it's because a lot of them are getting stopped out. If it stays this way, either people are stacking onto their losses or they're just holding on and praying that price is going to come back down, which is pretty crazy if they do that, because price is pushed up, I think, about 1,000 pips from down here. So from down to this lower point, price is up about 1,500 pips. I mean, it just depends. If these are swing traders right here, if these are all swing traders, it's fine. We'll have an extremely wide stop loss, and this number is not going to decrease anytime soon. But if they're day trading, you know, I don't think anybody here has like 1,000 pip stop loss. That's like way too far out. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up or take a screenshot of my profits for the day so far, so that you guys can see where my accounts are currently. I should have taken that on my top step too, but it happens too quickly. Like we can't take liquidity on top step. It's just the entry happens so fast that it's very easy to mess it up. So that's why I don't really take it on top step. But here is my dang, price is actually pushing up higher. So this next level of liquidity might get hit. However, price is very overextended. It's pushed up about well over 1,000 pips. So it's due for retracement. So I probably wouldn't take the trade right now specifically. It's just too risky. All right, so let me just take a screenshot. Main account here. And my MFS. So if you guys are looking to take this top level liquidity, I would probably wait for it to maybe test it. It's probably going to fake out initially and then it'll come back. So I'll probably push up, fake out, come down, come back up and hit. So I probably want that second or third test for that next level. It's just way too overextended, guys. You guys know what happens when price gets, you can't keep pushing up forever. It could push up maybe 1,000 pips, then retrace a little bit. So for example, right here, you can see where price is retracing. This might be the retracement. You might want to wait for it to retrace. And then if it does continue pushing, then there's your opportunity. But again, you guys want to be a little careful with chasing these types of moves because they're very risky. All right, so let's see where my accounts are sitting so far. All right, so this is the trade we took earlier, liquidity push, took it for 100 pips or whatever. Here is my first account. This is my main FTMO account with the green strip, full TP, total profit of 2,160. Here is my FTMO number 2 account. I got a lot of slippage on this one, made 3,140, full TP on that one too. Here is my MFF number 1. Of course, I got short-handed again. I only got 860 on this one. MFF number 1, my MFF number 2, 860 as well. And then my MFF number 3, locking 860. So, I mean, profit's profit. Can't really complain, but you guys can see the profit differential. I would have expected the slippage to work in my favor here for MFF, but it didn't. It worked in my favor for every other account. My FTMO number 1, I was only supposed to make 2,000 on here. I made 2,100. And then on this one, I was only supposed to make 2,000 as well, but I made 3,140. So, I mean, it is what it is. Thought the slippage would have worked in my favor because price literally blasted right through. But as you guys can see, MFF it works. I mean, it still works, but it's not ideal. So there goes my profits for the day so far off that liquidity push. I mean, it feels good to take a liquidity push. I haven't taken that trade in a long time due to the fact that I'm sticking to my game plan for the momentum pullback scalps. But as you guys can see, the strategy still works perfectly fine. You know, the main reason I stopped applying it was because I wanted to show you guys the possibilities of focusing on just one strategy. But there's money on the table, so I can't leave it on there. So anyways, those are my profits. Here are profits from other people in the group. Here's Casey, total profit of 2,789 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Casey. We've got Narith over here. Narith locked in a total profit of 10,730. Crazy work right there, Narith. So Narith actually held it for the full move. He took the entire liquidity push. So nice work right there, Narith. So as you guys can see, you know, if you have thick skin and you guys have the trade psychology to hold on to the position, you can make a lot more. For me personally, just from experience, I like holding on for just a smaller push and then getting in and out when possible. Here's Casey over here again on his second account. He said just passed his second account. So Casey has his second funded account here now done. Total profit of 3,253 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Casey. Yeah, congrats. Another account right there. Just following Maddie right now. Maddie's got like, I think 3 accounts now too over the past month. We have Kenny over here, total profit of 1,840 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Casey. I mean, Kenny, sorry, Casey and Kenny. We've got Natasha over here, total profit of 210 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. You're doing good. Your overall balance right now is 1,273. So you're doing good, Natasha. She said she's taking her time with her top step, which is key. You know, take your time on it, Natasha. There's no reason to pass in one day because you need to have that 30% consistency anyways. So you're fine, Natasha. Take your time with it. We've got Dave over here. Dave has 4 accounts that he took the trade on earlier for the liquidity push, total profit of 889 on his first account. Here is Dave's second account, total profit of 1014. Here's Dave's third account, total profit of 51. And here's Dave's fourth account, total profit of 3570. So as you guys can see, it doesn't matter if you guys have a big account or a small account, you guys can still profit. I always hear that excuse where people complain about not being able to make profit because their account's too small. I mean, Dave's a perfect example right here. He's consistent every day. You know, if he's making a couple $100 a day, across all these accounts, they're going to add up over time. So, you know, just stay consistent. If you guys win it like basically nearly every day, like this whole week's been pretty solid. I don't think we've had any losses, maybe one loss, but oh yeah, we had one loss this week. Everything else has been wins. So we pretty much recouped that loss on Tuesday, and then everything else from then has been profit. So, you know, just keep staying consistent, guys. That's really the key thing, because once you're consistent, you can start leveling up to bigger accounts, and then from there you can start making more profit when the time comes. So, all right, there's no entries for us right now. We have a couple more profits to look at over here. We've got Kenneth over here. Kenneth locked in a total profit of 1,275 on his top step account. Nice work right here, Kenneth. Solid profit off that. It looks like he took a liquidity push. You know, liquidity push might be okay on top step as well. It's just a little bit more work because I'm using a different chart for my liquidity. We've got Andrew over here. Great push. Yeah, Andrew locked in a total profit of 1,506 for the day. Nice work, Andrew. So you're almost past, bro. Andrew's over here. His total equity is up 4,137. He needs about a little under 5,000 to pass his combine on Top Step. So nice work right there, Andrew. And then lastly, we have Casey over here, total profit. Sorry, not Casey. Chrissy over here, total profit of 141 off that liquidity push. Nice work, Chrissy. All right, guys. So if there's any more profit that you guys have to share, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we will be looking for more entries here as price continues to move along. So, all right, let's go over here to the clean chart. I'm gonna mark up some structure. Price is just ranging right now, as you guys can see. It's not really doing anything for the most part. Sideways movement right there. Here is the our main chart. As you can see, price is pushed out pretty far, so there's not really room for entry right now. I'll go ahead and mark up our levels right now. So mark up the 10s so that you guys can see how price bounces around from here. And these lines are going to help identify volatility. Because if price is bouncing between each line, it's moving at least 100 pips, right? So these lines here are going to help us identify if the market's volatile or not. Right now, the market's a little decent. It's not super volatile, but it's decent. Kind of slowed down a bit. Volatility happened right here on open. And then now we're just waiting for price to kind of stabilize a bit so that we can start looking for some possible entries here. So a couple of things that can happen here. Price will either continue bouncing around from where it's currently at, or price will come back down to retest opening price, which is down below. There's open price right there. You can see it better here on the clean chart as well. So as you can see, price is just bouncing around this area up here where price is currently at. So if price breaks below, there's one of two things that can happen. So for example, price is just ranging right here right now, right? One of two things can happen. If price breaks below, target price point is going to be opening price, right? That's target price point usually. However, if it doesn't break below, price will just keep ranging within this area. So I'll just give you guys a couple of different scenarios here. This is what may happen. Price may just continue ranging around this area. Price may break below and continue dropping, or price may break above and continue climbing, right? There's too many scenarios here. You don't like that. Like, we don't like this. We don't want to trade when there's too many scenarios. We want there to be maybe one or two scenarios. Like, so for example, here, I'd rather identify maybe these two scenarios happening or these two scenarios happening, because once you have that, you can just add your confluences. And then once you have your confluences indicating where price is going to go, our confluences here are still bullish, right? We have retail sentiment still very strong. So with that said, I think price will continue pushing up. I think this here is a fake out. It's going to lure people to take sells, but realistically, price will either go sideways for a bit or continue pushing up. You guys just have to think of it from a logical perspective. I feel like a lot of people, when they trade, they think with their emotions. So like, say, for example, you're in a deep drawdown right now for a loss. You're thinking with emotions because you want price to come down, but realistically, price needs to go up because sentiment is so high, right? Everybody's selling. So if now it's even higher, look at 75%. Yeah, they're going to get stopped out for sure. So I think out of the scenarios here, this is probably what's going to happen. Price will probably keep bouncing around this area. And then eventually price will break above and continue climbing, because the number here just keeps getting higher. That's why I like using retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is like my main confluence when looking for long-term direction, because when you look at the other confluences here, like fundamentals can change very quickly. You can see here, pre-market, it was -20. Let's take a look at fundamentals now. It's now up 140 points. That's how fast it changes, 160 points. That's why I don't really care too much about the fundamentals that much. I mean, they're there and they're useful, but they're not necessarily going to dictate where price is going to go, because price will change very quickly. Same with the short-term technicals, right? They're now bullish. They were like super bearish pre-market, and look where they're at now. It's like they weren't even bearish at all. They were bearish right here pre-market, the London session, and now they're super bullish. So again, that's why I don't really I don't really care to focus on that stuff too much. But now I don't like how the market's sitting right now. So right now it's very one-sided. I don't like one-sided markets because that just opens up opportunity for manipulation. Because if everything pushes up, eventually these sellers they're going to get sick and tired of losing, and they're just going to start to shift to the buy side. Once that happens, we need to start shifting to the sell side, right? We just got to be on top of our feet at all times because the market's always shifting, and you just have to be able to shift with the market. I feel like that's another problem that a lot of people have. They don't know how to adapt to the market changes. Like people think price will be bullish forever, or they'll think price is going to be bearish forever. But realistically, the market is changing every day. And unless you have somebody to follow that actually knows what they're doing and how to adapt with the market, you're going to be behind the game, right? You always want to be 2 steps ahead. So yeah, exactly. Solange said, yeah, nice fake out for the dummies that don't wait for the candles to close. Exactly right, Solange, for this one right here. And you can see right here, so here goes my markup. It's the same markup I had, but it happened earlier. So see how price came up, it's retesting, it's probably gonna keep pushing up higher. Break and retest up off that level. The 1 hour liquidity here just got tapped. I'm not in this position, guys, but I'll just mark it up for you guys. As I mentioned, I probably wouldn't take the first tap, but here's a second touch right there. It's probably gonna push up and hit the TP, but it's just a little risky right here. But my markup here it just happened a lot earlier. The price can go sideways for a bit. It went sideways for a little bit right here, then it broke past it, and now it's pushing up higher. We don't have any entries for any momentum pullback scalps. In order for us to have that, we need to have a further confirmation of the retracement. So we need a sell signal first. Once we get that sell signal, we can write it up further. As you guys can see over here, price is rejecting right off these sessions right there, that green line. Can't see it too well there, but if I turn it on over here. So it's currently rejecting off the New York high from yesterday. So this is a high price from yesterday, New York session. It's having trouble getting past it, but I think eventually if it does get past it, it's going to blast right through, of course. So you guys see right there where it's rejecting from. This is a high price from yesterday. You guys remember how we had that big bullish push yesterday during New York session? This is the highest price that it got to. So I created these indicators for a reason. So I can see where manipulation is likely to happen. And it's happening directly on my sessions indicator. Right there. And this line's been up since yesterday. So it's not like this was like just put there right now. This line has been there since yesterday. Let's see. Solange said clean 10-minute snipe confluence for the 1-minute entries overextended, but sentiment is on our side. Yeah, definitely, Solange. Thanks for the heads up. Andrew said maybe a fake out against lure in sellers like the rest of the week. Yeah, I can see that. So this is why it's good that we trade every day, because you guys are aware of how the market was moving Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? If you guys see how the market is moving Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's typically how the market's going to move Thursday, Friday as well. It's just the same pattern that just keeps repeating itself. So that's why I typically tell you guys that Mondays is like one of the riskier days, because that's typically how the pattern's being set for the week. Once that pattern's been set, you can kind of just rinse and repeat that pattern throughout the week. And then if we lose, like say, for example, we lost on Monday, we're able to learn from that mistake. And then we capitalize on that on Tuesday, right? So we understand how the market moves on Monday. Tuesday, we capitalize on that. Wednesday, we capitalize on it. Thursday, we go home run on it. And that's kind of how we made all this profit here off the liquidity push. Because liquidity's been hitting pretty much every day this week. There goes the liquidity push right there, guys. If you guys took it, 100 pips. I didn't take it, so I'm not going to count that as a win. But as you guys can see right here, liquidity push did hit for 100 pips. So I'm not going to count this trade. The only trades that I count are the ones that I take personally. So this one down here I took, that's I'm going to count that one, but I'm not counting this one up here, even though it did hit full TP. Natasha caught it, full TP. Nice work, Natasha. Maddie caught it as well. Yeah, if you guys have more profit to post up, feel free to send them in. Maria caught it as well. Great work, guys. So you guys can see these old strategies, they still work fine. Like I don't ever teach you guys bad strategies. Like whenever I see something good, I only teach it if I know that it actually works and I know it works long term. Like this liquidity push strategy, we've been doing the strategy for years now. We just made a bit of some adjustments by identifying higher liquidity rather than lower liquidity. Because back then we would do like the 1 minute, right? 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. Now we're on the higher time frames. We're like on the daily, weekly, 4 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, etc. So, I'm always improving the strategies, but the strategies still work perfectly fine if you guys want to continue using them. Rick caught it. Nice work, Rick. So yeah, great work, guys. If you guys have props to post on that, feel free to send them in. I did not take this position, so I'm not going to count it as a win. I only took the one down here. Other than that, there's just nothing else for us to take right now at the moment. We're waiting for this retracement momentum signal. However, there's high impact news right here at 7, so I'm probably going to wait until after the news before I start looking for entries here. Because last thing I want to do is enter a trade and price spikes the opposite way. All right, we got some more. I'm going to delete this scammer real quick. Guys, just a reminder, if you guys get a message from anybody in the chat, like literally if you get a random message from anybody, it's probably a scammer. So don't fall for any of those traps. So just keep that in mind, okay, guys? If anybody's messaging you, if they're trying to send you to another group or they want you to sign up for something, don't just block that person immediately, especially if it's somebody that you don't know. If it's a random person that's messaging you, just block them right away. Because I've been seeing a bit more scammers here in the group. We try to delete them and block them as soon as possible, but they have a bunch of bots and fake accounts that just keep joining. So just keep that in mind, guys. Don't fall for any of those. Yeah, and I never message first either. So just keep that in mind. If you ever get a message from me, I'm never going to message you. Like, to be honest, I'm never going to message you because I never want to do more work than I need to. If you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys know that I try to do the bare minimum to make the most money, right? So like with trading here, I only trade from 6:30 to 8. I could trade from 6:30 to 12 if I really wanted to. If I wanted to make a ton of money, I would trade from 6:30 to 8. But I'm trying to do the bare minimum of work and make the most amount of money within like a short span. So I'm not going to go and message you guys like, hey, what's up? How's your trading going? Because the thing is, I don't want to mentor you. To be honest, I don't want to wait. I don't want to put my time to mentor you. I'll mentor you if you want to be mentored, but I'm not going to reach out and be like, hey, you want to be mentored by me? Because that's just more work on my plate. And I'm not trying to do any work. I want to be out at the beach. I want to be out at the gym. I want to do something else other than trading. So I'll never message you guys first. I'll never tell you guys, hey, I have a mentorship going on or signals. I'll never do signals. So just keep that in mind. Signals was so much work. So I'm never going to do signals again. And just keep that in mind, guys, because I want to make sure that you guys don't get scammed. And I've been getting a lot of messages from people that they've been getting messaged by me, but I'll never message you guys first. Trust me. I care about what you guys are doing, but I'm not going to message you out of the blue. So if you guys ever sign up for anything, go to the website. Don't ever send any PayPal, Bitcoin, or any of that stuff, because 100% of the time you're probably getting scammed by someone who's what happened to that guy? There was a guy that was scamming before, and someone took a screenshot of it. Where was it at? It was like in July of 2020 something, right? It was a long time ago, but there was a scammer and someone somehow got a picture of him. This is crazy. So guys, if you guys look at all the posts here from the premium group, these are all the profits that I posted over the years. It's crazy. All of my profits that I posted since 2019 are in the screenshots over here. So it's crazy just seeing how far we've come over the years. But let me see. It was pretty far back. It was 2020. And we're not missing any trades, guys. Don't worry. I know we're kind of going off topic here, but I just want to make sure that you guys are not getting scammed by random scammers on the internet. Yeah, it was pretty far back. I mean, it's crazy. Look at everybody's max allocations. So this was a Milazon from before. He got his max allocation with FTMO. That was back in 2022. All right, anyways, I'll show you guys the picture if I find it in the future, but yeah, I just want to give you guys a heads up. I'll never message you first. If anybody else in the group messages you or they try to add you to a group, just block them. And again, on Telegram, just go to your settings, guys. If you guys keep getting added to random groups, go to your settings and then turn on your security where you can't be added to random groups. Because that's a common thing too. Yeah, Kenny said lately he's been getting added to random groups he's never heard of before, but then he's been deleting them. All right, so there's still no entries for us here, guys. Price is still going sideways. I mean, it's not really going sideways, it's going up and sideways, but there's no retracement. So we're basically waiting for 7 o'clock over here because this is high impact news at 7 o'clock. It's existing home sales. And then I'm expecting this news here to be negative because the news earlier this week was negative too. So the news from yesterday, it was housing starts and building permits. It was negative, right? So I'm expecting existing home sales over here to be negative as well. We have about 2 minutes till news. I'm going to wait until that passes until we look for entries here. Just because the news is negative doesn't mean that price is going to drop, right? Because price can do the complete opposite. So just keep that in mind, guys. And we will wait for this news here to pass. Liquidity just got hit right there. So basically all the levels of liquidity that I marked up for today got hit. Full TPs on all of them. Let's see if there's any other levels of liquidity up top. So that's it. This is actually the week. There's no way this could be the weekly liquidity. Actually, this is the weekly liquidity. Yeah, that's crazy. So the weekly liquidity got hit today. Oh no, actually, sorry, I take that back. That was a daily liquidity. Okay, so the weekly is still far out. I don't think the weekly is going to get hit by today. Definitely not. Price is right here. Yeah, the weekly liquidity is 14,000 pips away. That's way too far. This will probably get hit maybe later in the year. So maybe by next month, this next level of liquidity will get hit. But yeah, at the moment, there's just no liquidity that is nearby right now. Rashida said maybe that will give us a push down for retracement. Yeah, that's basically what we need right now. Solange said a 10-minute snipe blasted through TP. Yeah, if you guys are still applying the 10-minute snipe strategy that I created, you know, what was it, like 4 years back, it still hits. Solange is like one of the main people that still applies it. He said it blasted right through TP. Nice work, Solange. C6 said, Sean, the next 1 hour he has marked up is at 35,502, but that's from February, maybe January. Gotcha. Okay, Sisu, good to know. So there's still liquidity sitting up top that Sisu has identified. It's at 35,502. So we'll take a look at that. I mean, if price continues to push up, that's completely fine. I think price will still push up because retail sentiment over here is still at 75% short. So it still has a long way to go up. They still need to wipe out all these sellers right here. So I would probably be focused on looking for buys today, guys. I probably wouldn't be looking for sells because, I mean, just looking at the number here, this number is pretty wide. It hasn't been at like 75% during the summer in a long time. Like I've traded a lot of summers. Typically, it's going to stay neutral throughout the summer because a lot of people are just not trading. People are just not trading, and then the people who are trading are just retail traders who don't know what they're doing. So generally, I mean, this is crazy that it's up this high in the middle of July when we have slow markets. I'm just waiting for like one of the market makers to come in because like if a market maker comes in and decides to just wipe everybody out, they can do that. And I think it might happen next week because next week is Fed week. So if you guys are, and we've already looked at it, we've looked at the news for next week. This week is technically just a normal week. There's not really much news going on this week, but next week over here, we have Fed week. So we have all the Fed news, flash manufacturing, PMI, inflation news, and Fed news. So we have CPI, or no, we have consumer confidence, flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI. We have Fed statement, Fed funds rate. So it's all Fed stuff next week and inflation news. So I think next week, these people might get stopped out. Like we might get a big push to the upside to just wipe everybody out. Because this week is when the market makers are actually trading. They're not trading this week as much because there's not too much news going on. You know, basic news this week, core retail sales, existing home sales, like just news that doesn't really matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter as much for the market makers to really come in and move the market. So news for right now at 7 o'clock was negative, as you guys can see right there. Let's see how price moved. Price didn't really move that much. So as you guys can see, this isn't really the time where the market makers and institutions really want to push price around. They don't care too much about this news. They care more about the news that's going to happen next week. So next week, expect some big spikes. I might even take some risky trades. I might just take some buys and just hold on to them all week. Like if price comes down pretty heavy, then I think like there's going to be a correction, like a pretty strong correction next week for sure when the Fed funds rate comes out. Because I think they're going to increase rates, but they might just keep them flat for a while. I mean, who knows? We'll see. Martha over here said hit her 2%. She's out working on her discipline. Have a great day, guys. Definitely, Martha. So that's key right there. So the key thing with Martha, you know, me and Martha have had our private one-on-one sessions. Her key problem is really just staying consistent, right? And having discipline. She wants to take like a bunch of trades. She gets FOMO. She gets into trades late, over trades, etc. And see, Martha here is taking the initiative, and she's already made 2%, and she's out. She could continue trading and make more percent, but she could also lose it all. So good work, Martha. And I'm proud of you for like taking the initiative, because I know you are like typically looking to trade a lot and throughout the day. So I mean, it's a big step in a good direction for you, Martha. Yeah, no, definitely, Martha. You're welcome, definitely. So if you want to hang out, Martha, you can hang out. Just close out your MT4. But if you want to just call it a day, then call it a day. Yeah, I feel like that's a problem with a lot of people. There's a lot of people here in the group that they'll make a lot of profit with me during these live sessions, but then they keep trading once you get off the live, and then they lose all their profits and they go into negative. You guys can really just trade with me in the morning and just make profit and then be done. Because that's like, you're basically guaranteeing your success of trading if you do it that way, because that's how I trade. I might not make like crazy amount of profits every day, but it does add up by the end of the week and definitely by the end of the month. All right, so there's no retracement here yet, guys. We're looking for a sell momentum signal. We have one right there that's pending, but we need it to actually pull back a little bit and continue pushing up. So what we're looking for is we're looking for a confirmation of retracement, which is going to be this red momentum signal. Once it closes, it's going to confirm the retracement. Once we've confirmed the retracement there, we're going to look for the continuation and correction back to the upside. As you guys can see right here, the volatility is very low, so it's not so great, and price is actually going sideways right now. It's going sideways right there. So here's our clean chart. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to clean it up even further, and I will mark up structure from where the higher highs are currently sitting. So we have a higher high, or we had a higher high here. There was another one right here, low right there, and another one right here. So now that I've marked up the structure right there using the high-low indicator, you guys can see that price is just going to be ranging within this area right here, right? So again, you want to wait for it to break above, or not really wait for it, but this is the ideal direction that we're looking for. You know, at this point right here, I think price is just going to keep going sideways. It might even drop back down to this level. So what might happen here is this is what I see happening. Price might go sideways for a bit, might cut back into this area right here, and then blast right through up to stop everybody out. Because there's still a lot of sellers here. If you look over here at sentiment, this is crazy. They're up now 76%. So you can see here that the sellers are being really, really stubborn, because this is crazy. They think they're catching the top, but there's no top there. Like this thing could just keep going higher and higher and higher. Let me show you the market from this week, like this entire week. Let's just go on the higher time frames real quick. Okay, so this is where the market opened right here, right? On Monday. Let me just show you guys. It's crazy that people keep entering sells because they're just getting slaughtered right now. It's like, I don't know. Some people are just super stubborn and they'll just never learn. So, and that's fine. I actually don't care, because that's good for us. If people are stubborn and they don't care, then because look, market opened right here on Sunday, right? Price has not dropped ever. It went sideways, it went up, it went sideways, it went up, and the numbers here just keep going higher and higher. So just keep going higher and higher, right? That's crazy. Look how high prices went. So whoever sold right here on Sunday, or whoever sold last week, is just getting slaughtered right now because the sentiment here has been at like 70% for like the past week, right? So everybody who's on the sell side, they're in some massive drawdown, because if they've been holding on to that sell from like Sunday, like say, for example, you take a swing trade from Sunday and you're like, oh, price is going to drop because the news is going to be bad. You're in drawdown about 8,000 pips right now. 800 points or 8,000 pips. That's a huge drawdown to be in right now. And the thing is, people just keep entering sells, which I don't know. It's just crazy. Because if you look over here, this is 76%. This thing was, so if you just count from yesterday, so don't even count from Sunday, right? Count from yesterday. What was yesterday? Wednesday. Okay, so yesterday pre-market right here. This is yesterday London session. So the sentiment here has been above 70% since yesterday, right? It was like 72% yesterday. Whoever entered the sells there, they're in drawdown right now about 3,000 pips. So, okay, maybe these people are not like in that bad of a drawdown, but that's still pretty bad. 3,000 pips is pretty far out. And they just keep adding on more and more and more sellers. So, I mean, it's fine. If people want to be stubborn, that's great. That's good for us, because we can just keep looking for buys here. We just need to wait for price to dip a little bit and then come back up. And then we'll just keep riding this up higher. Because this whole week's been pretty good. I mean, all of our trades for this week have been buys. Like, for example, today made 2,000. Yesterday made 1,000. We're just taking buys this week because we're going opposite of everybody else. On the 18th was Tuesday, took buys. Like I'm doing pretty solid for this week so far. I took my one loss over there for that buy. You know, obviously we get caught in some fake outs. I got caught in the fake out right here. It is what it is. Take that loss. Took the other trades right here, recouped some of that. But yeah, I mean, it really pays to be on the right side of the market, which is going to be a buy side right now. So yeah, Talanji said sellers in deep drawdown won't accept the loss. 76% is insane. Yeah, I agree too. That's how people blow their accounts, right? Because they don't have a stop loss in place, or they're just holding on to it, praying that price will come back down. That's why sometimes you just have to know when to cut your losses. Like on Monday, I took that loss. If I didn't have my stop loss so tight, I probably would have won the trade because price ended up going back up. But you just have to understand when to cut your losses. Like, for example, if I was in drawdown at least 1,000 pips, I would for sure be cutting my losses. Doesn't matter how big or how small my stop loss is, or how big or how small my lot size is. Like, even if I'm using a penny lot and I'm in drawdown 1,000 pips, I already know I'm wrong at that point. At that point, I'm like, all right, I'm for sure wrong. And I would just cut my losses. That's why for me, I don't really look at the profit. I look at direction. So I look at like price movement. So for example, if I'm like in drawdown 100 pips or 1,000 pips, this is the most drawdown I'll ever go into. It doesn't matter how big my lot size is. If I'm wrong by this much, 1,000 pips, then I'm wrong. I'm for sure wrong. And I'm just going to eat my losses. It doesn't matter if I'm down like $1. It doesn't matter if I'm down 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. If I'm like down this much, my analysis is obviously not right. So I would just cut my losses and then wait for the next opportunity. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. People who've been holding, so market opened right here at 630, right? Price is in drawdown right now from 630, 1,600 pips. So, I mean, on this live session, if I was wrong 500 pips, like right here, I would have already cut out at 500 pips. This is usually how far I'll go. My biggest stop loss during these live sessions is 500 pips. I'll never go past that. During COVID, though, is a different story. If you guys remember, during COVID, we go 1,500 pips. That's because every candle was moving like 1,000 pips each. So times have changed. But the biggest drawdown I'll go into is like 500. Yeah, C6 at 1,000 pips should absolutely tell you that you're wrong, especially during a market like this, because the volatility is not that high. Okay, so price is cutting down into this area. It's kind of doing what I mentioned earlier. So if you guys saw what I drew earlier, I said price was going to consolidate, probably come down here and then shoot back up. I think right here, they're just luring in some more sellers. Because the thing is, they can't just keep pushing price up. If they keep pushing price up, then these people are gonna, oh my God, it's 77% now. They're definitely luring in sellers because people are starting to stack their sells. So now it's up 77%. Yeah, these people are for sure getting lured in. So what I would say is watch out for the fake out. The fake out's going to happen somewhere down here. And it's going to push right back up and it's going to stop everybody out. A fake out's going to happen at some point. It's not going to keep dropping. I for sure, like I would probably bet the whole bank on this, that this is not going to drop that far down. I think the farthest it'll drop will probably be opening price. But eventually it's going to spike back up and stop everybody out. Yes, he said this is great. I was going to call it a day, but I might stick around just a little longer. I mean, I would stick around too, just in case. So we do have the sell signal right here, guys. You want to be a little careful with the entry because, like I mentioned earlier, since everything is one-sided here, there could be room for a lot of manipulation. Like, for example, price might come down slightly. I think it'll push back up, but eventually it'll bounce from like one of these areas here, one of these structures. So I'm only going to take this momentum pullback scalp if it's like very clear that I think price will push in that area. Also, there has to be volatility. It can't be like moving too slow, because if it's moving too slow, that's going to cause some tension and uncertainty with regard to the movement. So, all right, we're just looking for a buy signal here. Once we get the buy signal, we can possibly look for entry. But again, you can see right here, price is kind of just bouncing around. Like this might be the correction to the upside, or price might drop lower and the correction might happen even from this lower level. But it is just a matter of time. Let's see, Daniel said a B1 just hit there. Yeah, I don't know if anybody caught the B1 right here. There's a double body. Went straight to TP right there. Nice work, Daniel. I saw it on this chart, but I didn't see the low because I didn't have my indicator on. But I did see the double body setup right there. That's where I was expecting the swing back. All right, so what I see happening here is price might come down slightly. So it might just come down slightly before it ends up going all the way back up. It's basically what I drew over here. So you guys can see the circles that I drew. It's probably gonna make a small little, like, it's gonna make a slow drop. It's not gonna be a fast drop, but it's gonna be a slow drop to the downside. And then eventually it's gonna swing back up. I think the key thing to here look at would be the retail sentiment. Because if this number here, so if the number drops, so if it goes from 77 to 76, that's certain people that are pulling out of their sells, because obviously they're not getting stopped out if price is dropping. So this number here would be really important to follow. If the number increases, there's more sellers joining in on them. If it decreases, it's because people are taking profit, or they're just cutting their losses. So price might be up here. They might be in this massive drawdown. They might have been able to recoup some of their losses, and they're just pulling their losses out early. I mean, we'll see where this goes. All right, we got a couple more profits over here. We have Maddie over here, total profit of 348 on his first account, and then we have a total profit of 1,030 on his third account right there. Nice work, Maddie. So solid work right there. We got Andrew over here. Oh gosh, Andrew said his order filled late and retraced for a stop loss. It's all good. It happens, Andrew. We have Kevin over here. He wrote it all the way from the bottom. Total profit of 15,963 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Kevin. We've got Paul over here. Paul said slippage on the liquidity, ended up pulling out early on the second liquidity, but he should have held. Total profit of 480 for the day. Nice work, Paul. All wins. Yeah, it happens sometimes, Paul, but it's better that you pull out with profit than to be nervous and maybe run into a loss, right? So I think you made the right decision, but it's all good. I mean, you learn, you live and you learn. Maybe in the future, you'll know to hold on to it if you feel comfortable or confident about the direction of price. All right, we have CSUK over here. Here's CSUK's first account, total profit of 6,816 for the day. All wins. Nice work, CSUK. We've got CSUK's second account over here, total profit of 3,131 for the day, all wins as well. And we have C630 count over here, total profit of 3,031 as well. So nice work, C6. Great profits across all your accounts right there. And we're still waiting for that buy signal. So I mean, we're just patiently waiting for this buy signal to come up. Once it comes up, we can look for possible entry. 7:16 right now, so we still have a lot of time, guys. Don't worry. We still got a lot of time until 8. I mean, I prefer price to drop down even lower anyways. So maybe down to like the pivots. I think my key area would be somewhere around here. Not below the pivots, but just about enough area right here for it to to make the bounce whenever it can. All right. It's just a matter of patience at this point. Let's see. Yeah, Gianna was talking about the hourly entry over here. I don't know if anyone took the 1 hour entry. Looks like it hit, but there was news at 7, so Gian decided to skip it. But yeah, it looks like it did hit right there. So the hourly entry came up right here, guys, at 7 o'clock. I didn't take a trade, so I'm not going to count it, of course, but just wanted to show you guys the hourly entry there. These are basically the 3 main strategies that we look at: the hourly, momentum pullback scalp, and the liquidity push. However, there's no more liquidity levels available. So the next level of liquidity to the upside is going to be the weekly, but it's like 14,000 pips away. So I'm not expecting that to be hit anytime soon. Let's refresh CNBC real quick. Yeah, so looking over here at the indices, currently the Dow's up 175 points. S&P is currently down 13 points, which is a bit unusual because usually the S&P follows the Dow, but they're not lined up together today. So usually S&P mirrors the Dow, but the Dow looks like it's having a big push due to certain stocks. Nasdaq's currently down 136 points. Russell 2K is down 11 points, and the VIX is currently up 2%. So we'll see what happens in the next couple moments or so. Sorry, price is still dropping down a little bit right here. This is perfectly fine. I actually want this number to increase. So with price dropping down like that, I want this to increase to like 78%, because the more people on this side, so the thing with this is the bigger the number, the bigger the push to the upside for the market makers. So I feel like the market makers are kind of just waiting. They're just waiting for this number here to increase, because the thing is they're probably not going to make enough money unless there's like a ton of people on the sell side. So they're probably going to wait for it to get to like maybe 80%. Once you get to the 80%, they'll just spike price up, stop everybody out. Because once they stop everybody out, it's going to go on basically a free stop loss hunt with all the sellers with their stop losses just waiting up there. Yeah, exactly. So C6 said, so basically this drop is happening because CNBC is reporting the Dow is shooting up, luring in more sellers. This is going to be a massacre. Yeah, exactly. I don't think this is going to drop too far, though. If anything, this might just drop a little bit. And then I think right here, they're going to lure in some more sellers because people are thinking that price is starting to shift. So you can't really see it too much on here, but let's look at the multiple time frames. Okay, so looking at this right here, I think you guys get the idea, right? You guys can see it. So look at the 5 minute over here. Because a lot of people who scalp and day trade, they trade on the 5 minute, right? 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute. So like, for example, right here, if they see this dropping right here, I can see a lot of people possibly chasing this sell right here, because they're like, oh, this is starting to drop. So people are going to start chasing and they're just going to keep adding on entries for the sell side. But realistically, this is just temporary. So it kind of just depends on which time frame you're looking at. That's why I like having multiple time frames up here. So like, for example, if you're day trading, you're probably trading on the 5-minute or the 10-minute. You see price dropping right here. The people who are swing trading over here, you can see where the swing traders are looking for entries. So like basically everyone who's taking the sells off the swing trades, they're trying to identify basically like V1 variations, but against the trend, right? So I can see this is where people probably entered sells from. And they just keep getting, price just keeps going further up. So look what happens here when this pattern comes up. Double body. When the double body comes up, price tends to consolidate for a bit, where it retraces slightly before it comes right back up. So double body right here, consolidation, drops slightly, shoots right back up. Double body, retracement, consolidation, shoots all the way back up. Double body, consolidation, shoots up. Double body, consolidation, shoots right back up. So that's why I have multiple charts here, because the thing is, I know how to trade on any time frame. Once you understand how to read the markets and read the charts, you can really just apply your knowledge to any time frame here. So, you know, if you want to outsmart the market, just like if you have the 4-hour, you're like, okay, where are the swing traders trading? If you want to see where people are trading intraday, look where people are trading on the 13-minute or 30-minute or 10-minute, and then vice versa. If you want to look at day traders, look on like the 5 and 1. So I'm expecting a correction back to the upside. It's just a matter of time until that happens. However, right now, though, there's no entry for us to take because the trend meter is now blue. Price is below the pivots. We need price to be up here for us to take entries. So no entries for any buys yet. I mean, if price shifts down and gives us opportunity for a sell, we can start looking for any possible sells. But right now, there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. Yeah, exactly. And Sisuk also mentioned in the chat, he said they also do not have our pivots. So this is our pivots indicator, guys. These are not EMAs. Like Sisuk here said, the EMAs that retail traders are using is being used by everyone taking a sell position. Exactly. So if you guys like line these up with like EMAs, they're not going to be exactly the same because I've pretty much put together this indicator to represent trend and bounce, like where price is likely to bounce from. I know they look like EMAs and moving averages, but just because they're lines doesn't mean that they're moving averages. Okay, guys, this is a mixture of a lot of different data points. So it's not just a moving average. It might line up with a moving average or very close to it, but it's going to be off by a bit. Because I always get that question when people join the group. They ask if these are EMAs, and they look like EMAs because they're lines, but they're not. They're the pivots indicator. So just want to clear that up because I know we get a lot of new people who typically trade off moving averages. And it's just slightly different. I used to use EMAs before too. That's why I like using this type of ribbon pattern, because I like the way it looked. But then I just made some adjustments. Okay, so we have a buy signal right here that's pending, guys. In order for us to have an entry, though, we need price to really correct to the upside. So we can't really enter it down here. We need price to actually push up a little further. So if we do get a buy signal at some point, I need price to actually push up to this area up here. And then I can look for some entries over here, right? I'm not looking to take any entries down here. It's too risky. And then we also have some news coming up right here. So Maddie, thanks for the confirmation. We have news over here at 7:30. It's low impact, but we're still going to keep an eye on it just in case, because that can cause, you know, some type of movement that we don't want to happen. Obviously, if we're not in a position, we don't want news to spike price in the opposite direction temporarily. Let's see, Delicia over here said she took 2 liquidity pushes from earlier this morning, a total profit of 953 for the day. Nice work, Delicia. All wins. It's great work right there. Still no buy signal. I actually don't want the buy signal to come up yet. So I want price to just slowly push up and then give the buy signal somewhere around this area over here. Because the thing is, if we get the buy signal too early, it's not gonna meet our criteria for confirming the direction of price. So the first step of this strategy is to confirm the direction of momentum and direction of trend. Obviously, if we get a buy signal, it's going to confirm momentum, but we need to have confirmation of trend as well. Right now, the trend meter is blue, price is in between the pivots, so there's no trend right now. It's just neutral. When the trend meter turns blue and when price is in between the pivots and the pivots are going sideways, this indicates that the trend is neutral. In order for it to be bullish, price needs to be above the pivots, trend meter needs to be green, and the pivots needs to be angling up. Vice versa, price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. That's going to indicate a downwards trend. So just keep that in mind, guys. I mean, it wouldn't really matter because there's no entry for us to take here anyways, whether it be a buy or a sell. No liquidity there. All right, so here goes my bubbles that I drew earlier. There's still I'm gonna leave this. So I was gonna update my low right here, but I'm gonna wait for this to confirm. Actually, I can just update it right now. Big deal. All right, so as you guys can see over here, price is pretty much just ranging. It kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern, right? I know a lot of you guys like to trade head and shoulders. There's like a shoulder right here, head, another shoulder developing. Do they have it here? Yeah. It's kind of like a bootleg head and shoulders though. It's not necessarily that good. I mean, it lines up. So this is why I don't like trading patterns, because look how there's a head and shoulders right here. A retail trader who's looking at patterns, they're expecting price to come down, right? But this is just a trap. So I wouldn't take the sell here, but you can see the head and shoulders kind of set up right there. And the thing is, I wouldn't take that because there's already like 77% of people short. So I think that's why a lot of people are chasing the sells, because they see this pattern right here. There's a head and shoulders. But I mean, we'll see. I don't think it's going to come down though. I think whoever is chasing this head and shoulders is going to get wiped out, because here's the bounce that I marked up earlier. I drew these bubbles here earlier to show where the bounce may happen. And it looks like price is starting to correct back to the upside. C6 almost a Batman pattern. Yeah, exactly. Rashida said, I noticed if you look at patterns, you want to stick to the higher time frames. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's probably so let's look over here. Yeah, because it's not really setting up on these lower time frames. The 5 minute over here is still, I mean, it's just a bounce to the upside. Yeah, like if you were to trade a pattern like that, I would probably stick to like, say like the 1 hour and above. Like I would only take those types of patterns as a swing trade or even an intraday, but even the 10 minute up to 30 minute, I think is still a bit risky because there's a lot of noise going on those for patterns. Because the thing is, like every day the market's kind of shifting a little bit. So if you're trading swing trading with patterns, I mean, they work, but they barely come up. Like they like rarely ever come up. Yeah, exactly. Rashida said the 1 hour and 4 hour is good. All right, so we have a buy signal right here, guys. This is a news candle as well. But there's no direction right now, so it wouldn't even matter. Yeah, so there's no direction right now. And obviously we wouldn't take the entry lower than the momentum here. So if price continues to push up higher, great. But if not, then I mean, obviously there's no entry for us to take here at the moment still. Dejan said patterns are risky because all I seen was a W. Yeah, the W is usually the more common pattern. But even if you're looking at a W, it's usually not on the same level. And I'm sure you guys have seen that before. If you guys look at a W, it's basically a double bottom or a triple bottom. So you're better off identifying it as a double bottom or a triple bottom versus a W pattern. I feel like people just like to overcomplicate things, right? Like, for example, like what Dejan was just saying over here. Or people will call it like an M pattern, right? Like people will call something like an M pattern, and then it goes straight to stop loss because price goes all the way up. But realistically, I mean, it's just a double top. Or this would be the double top right here. Because the thing is with these M patterns, or even the W pattern in the opposite direction, I mean, usually that's what a lot of people trade. And don't get me wrong, they do work, but it's basically just a double bottom or a double top. I would prefer to look at a double bottom and a double top because it's more accurate versus looking at an M or W pattern. Because sometimes the M and W will be offset a bit, and it's not going to be lined up as clean as you know, just a structure that's been drawn up. All right, so we have the buy signal right here, guys. Price is pushing up. There's no direction that's been confirmed yet. So we just have some time here until we get that confirmation. So I need price to just keep pushing up. That's basically what we're looking for here. We're looking for price to push up a bit more because we want price to be above the pivots. The trend meter isn't like super necessary, but obviously it's going to be a lot more of a help if we do have the trend meter also lined up. Let's take a look at sentiment real quick. Sentiment is back down to 76. So it looks like the people here who are chasing it, I could already see what was happening. The people who were chasing the sells over here, they were using a trailing stop. So when price was coming down right here, from my knowledge or like from my experience, this is how people are trading it. They probably had, you know, they probably entered somewhere down here, sell signal, and they just kept trailing their stop. So as soon as price swung up, they got taken out of the position, which is a smarter way of doing it. At least those people had a stop loss in place, and they're cutting their losses or they're pulling out for profit when they have the opportunity. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. Price again is above the pivots. I would like a better confirmation, but I mean, this will still suffice if we want to take entry here at some point. I just would like it to push up a little further. We still don't have the green trend meter down below. I mean, price is somewhat bullish here with regard to the pivots, but it's not very strong. I mean, obviously, as you guys can see here, the pivots are starting to angle to the upside. Price is above the pivots. However, the trend meter down below is still not green yet. I think if price pushes up a little higher, it's going to turn green, or it's going to start to shift to the green side. Yeah, it's not too clear. So if we do get an entry right here, guys, I will mark it up for you, but I will probably not take it. So if this closes right here, or it looks like it's not going to actually. It has 40 seconds left on the candle. As we get closer to like the 20-second mark, I'll mark up if there's going to be a possible entry, but probably not going to take it yet. The direction has not been confirmed. Pivots are still going sideways. I mean, price hasn't really pushed up in that direction yet. So technically, if this here closes below this, and it's right at session, just like what Maddie said, if price closes below this point, entry would technically be down here. So this is technically where entry would be. I'm not going to take the entry, but I just want to show you guys. If I do take the entry, I'll let you guys know, but I'm probably not going to take this here because it's still in between the pivots. It's not really a clean direction right now. We need to have a pretty obvious direction before taking any entry here. And that's the first step for the strategy, right? If you guys know the steps for the strategy, I'll put it up over here. First step is to identify direction of momentum, which we have right here, and identify direction of trend using the trend meter and pivots. Trend meter is not green. Pivots are not really angling up, they're going sideways. There's no confirmation. The trade actually never filled. So we still have opportunity here for entry, guys. If price pushes up higher, we still have opportunity because the trade actually never filled here. So this first entry here did not get set up yet. There we go with that push to the upside. All right. So now we might have possible entry right here if the candle closes above this point. So right here, I'm a little more open to taking the trade. Let's see if I get my limit right there at the 20 mark. It's about 30 seconds left. If it drops below this point, I'm probably not going to enter here again because you can see where price is too close to the, it's going to swing back below the pivots. So if this is the case and price just pulls right back down, I'm going to sit out on this for sure. Yeah, I'm going to sit on this. Candle's too big. Maria said I'll sit on this too. Yeah, same here, Maria. I'm not going to take that risk. So the entry technically would be right here. I'm not going to take a trade. I'll just mark it up for you guys if you guys want to follow it. There goes a pending sell signal. So again, guys, I'm not in this position. This candle was just, there's no clear direction. I think so. That's the main thing I'm trying to get across to you guys. We need a clear direction for entry, and we don't have the clear direction. Maddie said might be trying to lure in some sellers still. Yeah, I can see that too, Maddie. So technically entry would have happened right here at this specific point because we have the retracement right there. This order would have been filled. And it's currently running in profit. And it's probably gonna hit TP. Looks like it's almost there. Yep, looks like it's about to hit. Almost there. So I'm not in this position, guys. I just want to give you guys a heads up. I thought it was too risky, so I didn't take it. Price pulled down a little too far, like too far for my liking. But it looks like it's gonna hit TP right here. Yep, there you go, full TP right there. So if you guys took it, great work. If you guys didn't, it's fine. I didn't take it because there was no clear direction. I mean, price here was bullish, but obviously it wasn't very clear because of the trend meter down below. Yeah, CJ said maybe I missed it, but those were valid entries even though the trend meter is blue. Yeah, so the thing with when you confirm the trend is that the more confluences, the better, of course, right? But you don't have to have every single confluence there. Like if you want to look for the trend, there's 3 different ways to look at it, right? 1 would be the trend meter down below. 2 would be the pivots if price is above the pivots. And 3 would be if pivots are angling to the upside. So the entry happened right here. Basically 2 out of 3 confirmations that you can confirm were aligned right here, right? Price was above the pivots were angling up. However, the trend meter down below is blue. So this is the main reason why I didn't want to take it because we didn't have a clear direction of trend. You don't need all 3, you just need to confirm, you know, obviously the more confirmations you have, the better. The thing with the trend meter is that it's constantly changing. It's not necessarily flat all the time. Sometimes you'll have it where, like for example, over here, right, price is below the pivots, it'll turn from red to blue, red to blue, red to blue. So that's why the trend meter isn't always necessary. Like for example, over here, price is below this point, and it's pretty downwards, but it's shifting from blue to red. So the trend meter is not necessary. And again, right here, see how it's like kind of messy? The trend meter can shift from like blue to red, green to blue, blue to whatever, you know, it's just going to shift a lot very quicker. The thing is the pivots here are a better confirmation because these here will actually last. Like once price gets below them, like you can see it takes a while for it to shift, but the entry could have happened like right here. So for example, there's a sell right here or a price came down. There's a retracement right here. Entry would have happened somewhere around this area and you could have taken the trade before it changed to to red there. So does that make sense? CJ and Kevin? Yeah, because the thing with the trend meter is that it's constantly changing, so you can't really base it directly off the trend meter. Like for example, over here, this thing could shift to green like at any moment, right? And then it could shift from like green to blue because it's still neutral. So that's why it's just like, I mainly use the pivots here. I use the trend meter maybe as like the last confluence. Because the thing is, if you just base stuff off the trend meter down below, like for example, price is below right here, right? And the trend meter is still green. This could be like bad news for you if you end up taking a buy here just because the trend meter is green. It's a little bit of it has a late reaction to price. So if you want to go from like laggiest confirmation of trend, it would be the trend meter. So the first one would be pivots. If price is above the pivots, that's the first and fastest confirmation. The second confirmation would be the direction that the pivots are angling. And then the last one would be the trend meter down here. So just a heads up, if you guys want to rank those from like most important to least important. The thing is, like, we already knew price was bullish here. So we're like, okay, if price swings back up, it's going to correct back to where it needs to be. Anyways, we're now looking for another entry here. Guys, I didn't take this trade here. So even though it won, I'm not counting this as a win. I just wanted to mark it up for you guys to follow in case you guys wanted to take that specific trade there. We have another buy signal right here. So if price pushes up again, we may have another opportunity for entry. Right now, we just don't have that. Yeah, got you guys, no problem. Talanji said sentiment is back to 77%. Yeah, these sellers are not giving up, guys. So they might lure in some more sellers right here before they swing it back up. But at the moment, I mean, we're just got to sit tight and wait for this here to go in our direction. All right, Maria, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Maria's done for the day. Again, if you guys have more profit to post up, feel free to send them in. Maria sent in her profits here. She locked in another win right there. Total profit of 260 for the day. Nice work, Maria. So Maria, again, has like the same problem that Martha had, right? Maria, she doesn't let her trades run to full TP. She overtrades, she revenge trades. So Maria here, she locked in her profit and she's happy with that. So now she's done. She's going to wrap it up and she's going to come back tomorrow. So guys, if you guys are happy with your profits for today, I mean, a lot of people locked in profits off the liquidity push earlier this morning. You know, you guys can just wrap it up. There's no need to force anything. We've got Patricia over here. So here's Patricia's first account, total profit of 980 for the day, full TP. Nice work right there, Patricia. We have Patricia's second account over here, total profit of 9,080 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. All wins right here as well. She took trades in both directions, but she got out at proper time. So solid work right there. And then Patricia said today's slippage on her copier and it's been acting up. Yeah, I think mine too. Slippage worked in my favor, thankfully, though. But yeah, it looks like slippage over here for Patricia on her third account. She only made 700 on it when it looks like it should have been a bit more. Yeah, her first account over here was 832. Or sorry, her first account here was 980. And then her copier over here locked at 700. So just a little bit of some slippage there. Mine actually worked in my favor, thankfully. So this is my main account with the green strip, locked in 2,100. And my copier gave me 3,140. So thankfully, it worked out in my favor. We've got Randy over here. Randy said too slow on the liquidity push. Still looking for a momentum pullback scalp. So right here, Randy locked in a total profit of 280 for the day. Nice work, Randy. So solid profit right there. All right, we have a possible momentum pullback scalp coming up right here, guys. We're just looking for that retracement. We are looking for the retracement here. All right, so price pushed up kind of heavy right now. I don't know if I would want to take the trade if it comes up, to be honest, because personally, if price is pushed up this far, it's going to have to retrace, right? It's going to have to, let me see how far price pushed up actually. So from down here to this point, price is almost up 1,000 pips. If you guys remember my threshold for overextension, it's 1,000 pips. So price kind of went up, consolidated here a little bit, but not very much. Price kind of went up and it's just been climbing since this low point right here. So this is 1,000 pips right here. If it gets to that point, I would probably be a little careful, guys, because it might be due for some retracement. Otherwise, entry would probably be like right here. Yeah, exactly. Patricia said it's pushing up too high. Question from James. James is asking, do you think it's too hard to pass top step with limiting 15 contracts? No, not exactly, James. There's no time limit, so you don't have to pass like in one day. I mean, you couldn't even pass in one day if you wanted to. There's a 30% rule. So no, it's actually easier to pass the top set because you can trade directly on TradingView because you have the price numbers here for entry. So James said, unlike FTMO where you can trade bigger, just deciding on which prop I'm gonna go with. I mean, trading bigger doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna pass faster. That just means that you could fail faster too. So, I mean, unless you're like elite trader already, James, I don't think that makes a difference, right? Because the thing is, there's no limit. Even with FTMO, you shouldn't be going max lot size. Like I'm doing a 200 lot because I know what I'm doing, right? If you're just following me, you shouldn't be going that high a lot size. Like if you know what you're doing and you're taking the trades on your own, then okay, you can do lot size that you're comfortable with. But if you're still not there yet, you shouldn't be going full lot size. Because the thing is, I'm using a 200 lot. So if you lose a trade with a 200 lot, you're going to be down like 2.5% off one trade, right? Guys, technically the entry was right here. I'm not taking this entry though. The push-up was too high. So I'll follow it, but again, I'm not going to enter the trade. As I mentioned earlier, it's just overextended. It's about like 1,000 pips up. So it was due for retracement. But yeah, back to what I was saying, James. There's no time limit. So like with Top Step, if you're using 15 contracts like I'm using, you can make 750 per trade, right? That's how much you make every single trade. Every time I make a win on my Top Step, it's 750. So you need to make 9,000, right? 9,000 divided by 750. You just need 12 good trades. You can do 12 good trades within a month, right? It's not that hard. You just take 12 solid official entries that we take here on the live sessions, and then you would have passed your, your Top Step at that point. So I personally would, I mean, so here's the pros and cons. FTMO, you have a copier. You can have like a bunch of accounts, but you should do that once you're like good at trading and you're consistent and you're profitable. For me personally, if I was to recommend a beginner or a starter, I would go with Top Step because you can trade directly on TradingView. It's so much easier to trade on here and you can just focus on one account. So you can do one account. The barrier for entry is a lot cheaper. It's only 150. And then if you use my code, you get $50 off. So you're basically paying $100 for a challenge. And then if you pass that, if you take 12 good trades and you pass your combine, then you can start getting payouts right away. And then from there, you can use that money to then go to FTMO because FTMO is like $2,000 or it's like 1,200 to get a 200K. So, just keep that in mind. You can always do FTMO at some point in the future. I like FTMO because there's more profitability there. I have like 2 accounts and then I have 3 MFFs. So I'm already profitable and I'm just basically doing exactly what I'm doing here on there. So I just add profits. Those are extra profits. But I think I would point you in the direction of Top Step, at least for now. And then once you're profitable and you're good and you understand the strategies, then you can start using FTMO because FTMO is pretty expensive if you think about it. I would pay $100 to get funded on here and then make some profit versus paying 1,200 for a 200K on FTMO. And then if you lose that, then you're kind of screwed, right? So yeah, exactly. James said, yeah, I like that process. Makes a lot of sense. I'm just looking out for you guys, right? Of course, if you're very good, then go do FTMO. You make more profit on FTMO. But for beginners and for starters, I would start you guys with Top Step and then switch over to FTMO. Yeah, no problem, James. All right, so I'm not in this position right here, guys. As I mentioned earlier, price was overextended. That's the reason why I decided not to take it. I mean, it's not a good reason to not take it, but for me, I want to be careful, especially in this type of market where everything is kind of irregular. Everything here is bullish, so that's why I don't really want to take anything that's considered risky, in my opinion. I mean, the trade's still running. It's actually running for a long time. This trade should have probably hit TP by now, but I think right now the market is just kind of playing with people because of there you go, what a hit TP. So the strategy still works fine. Yeah, Kevin said I'm in it, but it's stressful. There you go, blasted right through a TP. So there goes your stress, Kevin. It was worth the wait, right? Took 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Usually it would hit within like the first minute or so. So nice work. Yeah, CJ actually entered down here at the 50, so he got in at an even better price point. So if you guys took that trade, great. I didn't take it, so obviously I'm not going to count it. I just want to be transparent with you guys. I'm not trying to pad any of the trades from our live sessions because we already have a lot of wins. Like if you look at the wins for this year so far, I don't need to pad anything. Like I could have losses for the rest of the year and I'm still great. The results for this year so far have been pretty amazing. And like, these are only the trades that we take here in the live. I know there's a lot of other trades that we take, like speculative trades and whatnot, but for this year so far, we're at 97 wins and only 15 losses. That's pretty crazy. And I haven't padded any trades here. These are like literally the trades we take on the live session. So great work. If you guys caught it, Gian caught it, CJ caught it, Kevin caught it as well. So yeah, you guys are doing pretty solid. Let's see, Anderson said most individuals don't trade the full 15 contracts on top steps. Most only trade a few contracts at a time. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Anderson, 100%. The only reason I trade 15 contracts or why we trade is because we're scalping. We're going for those small movements in price, right? So like for us, we have to take advantage of the movement, right? If we're going for 100 for 10 points, yeah, we need to take the full 15 contracts to make enough profit to make it worth our while. So like, yeah, what Anderson said, if you're scalping like us, yeah, that contract limit does kind of hinder us a little bit because it limits our profit, but it also keeps you it keeps you in line with your risk. Because the thing is, if you could go like for example, I'm doing 200 lots on FTMO, that's probably like equivalent to like 25 contracts. If I was to do that on Top Step, I could maybe blow my account, right? So like with one trade. So for I think the 15 contract limit is there for a reason, obviously. But yeah, I agree with you, Anderson. A lot of people don't trade like we do. We're like, honestly, I don't know who trades like us at all. I haven't come across anybody that scalps like us. There's other scalpers out there, but they don't scalp like us. Like they still try to do like a 1-to-1 risk reward or a 3-to-1 risk reward, which is fine, it works. But I don't see anyone that really trades like us here for these really, really quick moves where we're in the position for like, a minute or 2 minutes. I see a lot of people who are in the position for like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But everyone trades differently. There's no one way to trade, multiple ways to trade. You just got to figure out what works best for you. Matthew said, I was hoping today would be the last day of phase 1 since I'm only 300 away, but the market has been so sketchy that he stayed out. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, no, that's better, Matthew. There's no need to rush it. I think the best way to do this is to maybe take 1 or 2 trades a day. Like the liquidity push this morning is fine. And then maybe one other trade that happened. Because if you can stay consistent, and I mean, like, if you can stay focused for like just an hour and just focus on 1 or 2 trades, you'll easily reach that goal, right? Like, for example, I was telling James, you need 12 good trades to pass your top step. Just 12 good trades. It's not that many. So if you could focus for like 12 days and take 1 good trade a day, you'll be able to pass with no problem. It's just up to the greed. I feel like the greed is really what screws people up. They see that they're making like $1,000 off 1 trade. And they're like, okay, I'll take 2 trades or 10 trades. And then that's kind of what throws them off. Nice. Look, C6 said his liquidity at the 1 hour line hit. Nice work, C6. All right, so it's 8 o'clock, guys, or it's getting close to 8. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, this market has kind of been all over the place for the past couple of days. The sentiment is still very high. It dropped down 1%. It seems like a lot of those people just got stopped out. Whoever was chasing the sells here, price just shot up, well over 1,000 pips. So yeah, 1,300 pips. So I'm assuming whoever was chasing those sells earlier just got wiped out. And their stop losses got triggered. Yeah, I think this type of market, you just want to be a bit careful, guys. You guys got to remember, we're still in a summer market. So a lot of these movements here aren't necessarily, they're not necessarily smooth movements. They're very irregular. because the market's not really moving as smooth as it typically does during the fall and the spring. So you can see the movement over here is actually pretty nice. I think today was actually pretty nice. So today's market was actually good compared to Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday was all right too, but today was actually pretty smooth compared to the other days. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up for the day. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com, or you guys can message me on Telegram. Just a heads up to everybody on the YouTube. Again, I didn't put this YouTube stream is unlisted. So if you guys want to have access to the YouTube stream, just make sure that you guys are going to the YouTube channel. You guys are subscribing and turning on notifications, because when I go live, they'll email you the link to the live stream, but the live stream is not going to be listed on the website. So you can see over here, it's not really on the website, or it's not on the YouTube channel, because I don't want this to be open to the general public. I'm okay sharing with you guys here who are already part of the group, but not necessarily to the general public. We had a couple more profits here. Gian locked in a total profit of 5,720 for the day. Nice work, Gian. All wins. We've got Anelli over here, total profit 772 for the day, all wins as well. And we have Natasha over here, total profit 412 for the day, total profit of 1,475 on her trader bait. So nice work right there, Natasha. All right, so I think that's about it. Here's some more profits from Maddie. Maddie's currently up 364 on his first account, 56 on his second account, total profit of 1,270 on his third account. Nice work right there, Maddie. And then Sisuk over here, total profit of 7,966 on his first account, total profit of 4,381 on his second account, and total profit of 4,481 on his third account. Nice work, Sisuk. All right, guys, so I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session as we wrap up this trading week. So, all right, guys, other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow.